I'm pleased to be here today with another alumni of Texas State School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I'm joined by Andrew Waldrup, and he is a 2010 graduate from our public relations program. But he has moved into various technology roles in his career. Most currently, he is a senior product manager at HEB in their digital facility in Austin. Thanks, Andrew, for joining me today.
Yeah, I'm excited. Good to see you.
We're very excited to hear about what's going on at HEB because HEB has really emerged as the leader in terms of getting food out to the public during the pandemic through a lot of technology, processes, employee support, and through just the general culture of the company. So, I've been really looking forward to talking to you about what's been going on. A few weeks ago, before all this happened, before spring break, you came to Texas State and you talked to one of my classes and you let them know a little bit about what a senior product manager does at HEB. But some of the people watching this video may not have been in that class. So, tell us what a product manager does at a company like HEB.
Yeah, it's pretty traditional to product management work that I've done in other places as well. It's much more customer facing, and you're working on products that your neighbors are using. So that's been super rewarding and one of the reasons that I was so excited to come to HEB. But you're really just, building software, technology, customer experiences that enable them to feed their family.
And that's so important. I mean, it goes from just a technology tool to something that's critical to people's livelihoods and to be able to resume even a normal semblance of life.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, I mean, the community, there's a lot of brand love for HEB for good reason. And so people love coming to our stores. And so, yeah, in this time where you're limiting contact with people, it's been challenging for people to sort of adapt to a world where everything has to come to you versus you going to it. A lot of people looked forward to going to the store every week or a few times a week. And in this new world, you have to be selective about when you come to the store versus having things come to you. So it's been interesting.
I mean, it's a key part of our lives, a key part of our normal routines. And so the adjustment has been difficult for a lot of people, and I'm sure it's been difficult for your organization. But HEB was prepared in many ways to handle a crisis of this nature. I know that you have worked from home on occasion here and there over the weekends, being able to do your job remotely. But I also visited you at the HEB digital facility, and there were hundreds of people working on screens in an office. So how has the work from home situation changed since everybody started working from home?
In previous roles, my teams have been in Ukraine, across the world, really. And here it's no different. The mothership is in San Antonio. And so we collaborate a lot with partners there. But our core teams, for the most part, work in, shared locations. And so my core team works out of the Austin Tech Hub. And so the thing that's changed is that you no longer have that daily sort of interaction, walk over to the desk and be able to ask someone a question. Most of that now happens over Slack or Zoom. And so before, where you would have had some meetings in person, all meetings are remote now. And so that's been the biggest shift for me. I also have teammates who work on my squad who, live in Canada or Pittsburgh, all throughout the world. So we generally have a Zoom-friendly work environment. But like I said, not everything had to be over Zoom. There would be times where you could connect one-on-one or one-on-many. And now all meetings happen via Zoom. Some of the challenging parts of that are when you have meetings where you're impacting something that requires buy-in or communication across 50 plus partners, which is what we call ourselves at HEB partners. That's a very large Zoom meeting that takes a lot of work to keep everyone on track, keep the meeting on track, and make sure that you cover everything you want to cover and that everyone understands it as comprehensively as you'd like them to. So those are some of the bigger challenges that we've seen. And then, we're all pretty much familiar with working on Slack, and that is a new concept for a lot of people. We have a couple of different tools for communication. Phone call is big, text is big, Slack is huge, but not across the entire org. And so creating experiences in Slack that help partners who've not used it before come up to speed there has also been interesting to think about. It's not something you typically would think about when you're using Slack and you've become accustomed to it. So it's been really interesting getting everyone in the same space, charging toward the same goals, and keeping everyone informed along the way. Communication has become the biggest part of anything that we're doing.
And that is a common thing that I hear from everyone that I've talked to, is the communication aspect is the most challenging. The technology exists in various ways, but just making sure that communication that you normally did on a face-to-face basis is simulated effectively in some sort of way is a challenge and an opportunity. Can you talk about some of the specific features you've worked on since the pandemic occurred that have been implemented into the application?
Sure. So some of the work that we've been doing is just around communication. So ensuring that you understand the state of the shelf, whether you're coming into the store or not. So if you've been in a store lately, you see, based on when you come and based on when we get shipments, that there are some sections that are leaner than others. Some products where you may not be able to get the exact thing you wanted. Some things where where you'll take whatever is available, understandably, because we all know that everyone is getting things to people as quickly as we can. And so communicating that the thing you're shopping for today may or may not be on the shelf when we go shop your order for you. So if you're ordering 7 days in advance, the inventory that you're seeing online may be vastly different than the inventory we have in the store when we go and pick your order for you. So communicating that to customers so that if they haven't seen the shelves, they're still aware of the state that the shelves are in. Being creative where we can to communicate that. So whether that's banners, pop-ups, modals, throughout the shopping experience, just overly communicating to customers so that we level set expectations and they're not disappointed. So those are some of the things we started doing initially. And then, as things progressed, we always have customers top of mind. And so anything that we can do to make their experience better, we do it. And so some of those things include the rollout of our initiative, delivering groceries to seniors. So, some, and none are, right or wrong, just different stores are doing different things. And we took an approach that we thought prevented higher risk customers from having to come to the store by getting their groceries to them via favor. And that was the model that we thought made the most sense for our customers. And so that was one of the initiatives we rolled out, giving seniors the ability to call in and place their orders through favor and get them delivered. Some other things we've done are around medical time slots. So the medical community is stretched thin. They are working crazy hours like all of us are. And so giving them more options of when they can come in and get their groceries or have them delivered or picked up via curbside was another initiative. So specific time slots to accommodate them. And then, thinking through the shopping model and the way that we're used to shopping and then flipping that. So one example of that, something that we're calling best available or representative products, which is live in 3 of our stores today with plans to go company-wide. Since we can't guarantee brand or size, we want to level set with customers up front that's not something that we can guarantee. But if we do have something, we'll get it for you. And so an example of that might be spaghetti noodles, or toilet paper is very topical right now. We're pulling toilet paper from everywhere we can get it. And we can't guarantee that we'll be able to give you H-E-B's finest or Charmin, but we can guarantee you that we'll get you something if we have it. So communicating to you that, hey, there's this thing. It doesn't have a brand. It doesn't necessarily have a size. It has a price range of this to this based on the things we know we're getting. Add it to your cart. If we have anything in the store on the shelves that we can do to fulfill that, we will. And you only pay the price of the product. So that's one of the ones that was most interesting to me, because you have to put yourself in the customer's shoes and think about all the different ways you would need to communicate that, them not understanding necessarily that model. And we have a super talented design team that was able to come together around that, do some very quick testing with real customers, and come up with a model that so far has been received very well by our customers in those 3 pilot stores. So like I said, we'll plan to roll that out later this week company-wide, and that will save time for our customers who are just trying to build a cart. And in grocery commerce, cart sizes are much larger than they are in your traditional retail spaces. So you could have anywhere from 50 plus items in your cart, which is somewhat new to the space. And so anything that we can do to make it faster for them and still meet their expectations, knowing that these are things that they need, we're trying to do.
So much of what you have to do for the app has to do with processes that are happening in the stores. You don't operate in a vacuum by any means. So how is that communication done, and where does it get originated?
Sure. Yeah, that has been one of the most rewarding parts, is all the different teams and partners coming together across the company. You know, Austin, we stood up the Austin digital office in Austin, obviously. And, you know, like I said before, headquarters is in San Antonio. And so sometimes it takes some time to get to the right people for the right conversations. This has expedited that. And so it's become a little bit easier to connect with the right folks to get everyone charging toward common goals. And so as we think through how we continue to support our customers, whether that be our weekly ad or digital coupons, or ensuring that the products they need are on the site, coming together across the org and working with all the different teams that are required to make that happen has sort of been super rewarding and will pay off in dividends moving forward, because now you have faces and names to go with these things or concepts you've been wanting to build. And so in my mind, it makes it quicker moving forward to turn these things around once you've solidified on a path forward. Everyone has been very helpful across the org to ensure that we have the best experience for our customers and that we protect our partners.
Are there other initiatives in the broader company beyond what you're dealing with that you can sort of highlight that are particularly innovative?
So anything that we can do to more quickly get products to shelves for customers, we are doing. If that means bypassing a warehouse to get it straight to the store, we'll do it. If that means pulling eggs from Colorado, we'll do it. If that means bringing in toilet paper from Mexico, we'll do it. If you've been in the store lately or received a curbside order, you've likely seen some new brands show up, and that's because we are pulling from wherever we can to get the products that we need. And so the supply chain has been very flexible in the way that they procure new products to keep the shelves full. So that's one way. We're also doing things with pharmacy, such as free delivery. So if you are filling your prescriptions with us in one of our markets where we can support it, we'll get those prescriptions to you for free via delivery. We're doing things with our Meal Simple program. So Meal Simple is Ready Eat, which is huge right now for folks. There's only so much cooking a lot of us want to do day in and day out for the whole family. And so creative things that we can do with Ready to Eat, whether that's rotisserie chicken or the Meal Simple meals, encouraging and putting visibility on those for our customers so they understand that's an option for them. There's been some creative things we've been doing there. Thinking through things like accommodating the feedback we've heard from our customers around their willingness and desire to contribute to the food banks. That's not something we've been able to support online, something we've always wanted to do, but it's something that our customers overwhelmingly have told us they want to be able to support. In store, we have care pads that we use at point of sale. Online, that's a different experience, right? A virtual care pad. And so considering how we can get creative with the tools we have at our disposal to enable customers to do that. Those are some of the things that stand out to me that we're sorting through now.
One of the things I've been most impressed with about HEB is just the general attention to culture. The associates in the stores are all very positive attitudes, and the way that HEB has like taken the mantle for doing an excellent job and taking that, you know, really serious to the core of their mission. How important is the culture of HEB to the success that you all have had so far?
Oh, I think it's critical. And a lot of the culture comes from the community. Even when we build our stores, we customize them to the community. We believe that you invest in the community, you invest in the children, and Texas specifically, and it pays dividends. And so everything that we do is community focused. And a lot of our culture comes from that. We always have our frontline partners in mind. That's some of the things that we've begun to roll out to keep them safe and to keep customers safe through this experience. And whether that be the 6 feet between each customer outside, putting stickers down in the stores so that people can easily understand what a 6 foot distance looks like, having partners shift out of deli and bakery into line management, closing down non-essential things like custom cakes in our bakery to have those partners help in other ways in the store. Anything that we can do to help keep customers and partners safe, we're doing. And that's the main focus. And at the same time, we're also focused on anything that we can do to open up more curbside and delivery slots. So that, you know, above and beyond all of this, curbside and delivery is a huge value add for customers right now. And that's a service they're looking for. And so anything we can do to increase efficiency, to open up more of those slots, we're trying to do it day in and day out every day. That's recycling canceled slots, opening up more slots toward the end of the week, things like that.
Do you have any advice for people who are just starting now to work from home, how to set up your workspace, or what makes you most efficient in a work from home environment?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I've been thriving in the work from home environment because I've just, I've been able to just sit here and work. The night blends into the day, the days blend into the days. What are weekends? It's all just a concept these days. And that works for some and not for others. And even myself, getting up and taking a walk or having lunch occasionally, which you can just work through very easily these days, that helps. Getting familiar with the tools and any playful, Snap has come up with their camera lens, which makes some of the meetings playful when appropriate. Anything that you can do to engage with your peers and coworkers, whether it's work related or not, helps. So we've got tea time set up once a week where the product management team connects and, just chats. We've got periodic team meetings that we didn't have before, happy hours, virtual happy hours, things like that. That helps. Playing with the tools, and if they, sometimes there are tips and tricks within each tool that make the experience a little bit easier. Mobile's come a long way, so whether you're on a walk or behind your desk, you can take some of those calls either way and do two things at once. I've had some success doing that. But having a great space at home where that works for you works well for me. So at one point I was working only on my laptop, and then I've got a couple of monitors set up now, a command center really, which has really helped me do all the things I need to do. It's unbelievable the amount of code we're shipping, the number of conversations we're having, the level of planning we're doing, and to keep all that going and to still maintain some normalcy around your hours, I think is the challenging part. So just keeping that top of mind and keeping as many routines that make sense for you in place as possible. Obviously the gyms are closed, so I've been trying to, I did 2 miles earlier and then a 3 mile at lunch. There's my 5 miles. You can't always get them in all at the same time. And that cold front we had yesterday kept me inside all day. So I turned something on and did a workout online. But just whatever you can do to take your mind off of things for a little while, clear your head and then get back into it is the way I've been working with it.
You met with some of my students in February. Many of them are about to graduate, and they were previously very nervous about the job market, as any graduating senior is now they are experiencing lots and lots of anxiety about the economy into which they are graduating. What kind of advice do you have for them to help them best prepare for this job market?
Yep. So I would say networking is more important than ever right now. And that, I haven't been doing a lot of external networking myself, aside from meetings with friends. And so I imagine that might be difficult to do at this time, but I think it's still possible. Everyone has connections, and those connections have friends, and those friends work places. And so here at HEB, we're still hiring. We're hiring like crazy, like never before. And so even under the umbrella of Search and Discover, which is my focus at HEB, we're hiring another Discover squad because there's just so much work. And the breadth of what we're doing spans nearly the entire site. And so there are companies that are hiring. We're one of them. There are many others that are in the news lately. So I'm looking for people now, whether that's product engineering, marketing, communications, all of those are roles that we're hiring for. And I think there are other companies in similar states. And if you're able to connect with someone that works there, regardless of whether there's a job posted or not, that's sort of your foot in the door. So, that's been true all along for even in pre-COVID world. So for me, that's the thing now that's more important than ever is just, whether you use LinkedIn to find that person and then backtrack to your core network, or whether you find an online networking group. I know those are happening now. There's ways to get your foot in the door. And I'm not opposed to people I don't know reaching out to me. Some are, but it's always better to go in with someone as a connection, because that's not possible. I wouldn't limit myself just because I can't find that person.
I've been encouraging students as I post these videos to reply to or retweet them to kind of connect with the person that I've tagged in my tweets or in the Instagram posts, and then maybe connect with them and ask them a question or ask for some advice. And that is one way to be able to establish that networking that we used to do in person. So don't be surprised if you get some at replies. And I'm assuming these jobs you speak of are listed on the HEB careers site?
Well, not right now, they're not. So that's another thing that's a good call out. Not all of the jobs are posted. We've been very focused on hiring for our stores because there's so much need there right now. We've turned all of our hiring resources to those. But that's not to say that I can't reach out to a recruiter and say, hey, I have a great person for this role that I know we have. So don't be deterred if you don't see something online. That doesn't mean there's nothing available.
Okay, that's really good advice for students to hear. And I think there's really nothing better than continuing to establish your network and making connections. And we're just lucky that we can do this in a digital age with all the various technologies that we have.
You might have more time now to focus on your digital portfolio. So anything that you can do to tell a story or give insights into how you think about things or anything that you're passionate about, getting digital representation for that now, I think is even more critical. We're not doing in-person interviews, right? They're all happening via Zoom too. You're not coming in to pick up your equipment anymore. So anything that you can do to put yourself out in the world so that people understand and can get behind getting you on board, I think it would be helpful.
That's really good advice too, because the students in the class are working on their senior portfolios, and hopefully they are using this time to really brush them up and make their work stand out, describe it, make their portfolios as strong as possible.
Yep. And keep your social up.
And keep your social up because people are looking at that.
That's right. And professional to the extent you can.
Well, thank you so much. I know that you are super busy, and Texans so appreciate all the work that every single partner at HEB is doing to keep us fed and happy and to keep that, somewhat of a normal routine for our grocery purchases. And, we just really appreciate your time and your advice today.
Yep. It was great to see you.